One of Costa Rica's most troubled species doesn't live in an exotic rainforest or coral reef, but on city streets. Abuse, abandonment, and overpopulation all add to the horror story of the stray dog. It's hard to know just how many strays are out there. But the best research from the World Health Organization says homeless dogs in the world outnumber homeless humans at least 2 to 1. Theirs is a plight not of human interference, but of many people choosing not to intervene. Join Gabi, Kasla, and Caro as they investigate how big the problem really is and visit a place where hundreds of stray dogs run free. This is one of the biggest dog rescue efforts in the country. Listen in as our 3 adventurers hear stories from dedicated staff.
There are many stories, but we sometimes don't know how to tell them because they affect us for real.
And find out what humans can learn from this massive dog family.
It's been a few years since we've traveled together. There's still so much yet to be discovered.
Human beings can be so cruel towards so many animals.
When you have the opportunity to look into their eyes, to know their stories.
Animals that are rescued here can be released into the wild again, where they're really meant to live. I hope people get inspired and treat animals with more care and respect.
Dogs are pack animals, descendants of highly social wolves. But that alone is not what makes them excellent pets. Dogs and humans have been interacting for thousands of years, giving dogs the chance to sniff out a keen understanding of human behavior. Some experts believe the friendship formed because they shared the same living spaces and hunting grounds. But while it's hard to meet a dog that lacks loyalty for its owner, the same can't be said for all humans. More than 1 million homeless dogs roam the streets of Costa Rica, and the government agency reporting those numbers says a huge part of the problem is people abandoning animals they are no longer fond of. If a dog is lucky, it might end up here, at Territorio de Zaguates, or Land of Strays.
Look at the dogs, they're all over the place. Careful. Careful. Oops. Hello.
Welcome. My name is Johnny. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the Territorio de Zaguates. I promise you will spend a very nice day here at Territorio de Zaguates. We'll go for a walk. We'll do everything today. It will be an unforgettable day for you. Are you ready to follow me?
Claro.
Okay then.
Go.
I don't know how to react or how to feel yet. It is a mix of feelings.
I didn't know what to expect from a place like it's like a dog shelter with 700 dogs. So I'm really surprised.
I was mesmerized by the amount of dogs. I don't think I've ever seen so many dogs in one place.
Territorio de Zaguates sits on a ranch in the foothills of central Costa Rica. Here, dedicated staff provide care for hundreds of dogs, each of which has a name. There are dog houses and pens, as well as plenty of open countryside to play. The shelter has existed for 8 years, but the husband and wife team who run it have been rescuing homeless dogs for more than a decade.
We started out first with 20 dogs in Santa Ana, in Don Alvaro's house. It was Alvaro, Saumet, and Mrs. Leah. They started out with 20 dogs in their house and then adopted 20 more.
In their house?
Yes, in their house, inside their house. Then they adopted 10 more, and there were 50 dogs in the house. There wasn't enough room anymore. They all slept inside, the dogs and all. Then they decided to build a shelter on this ranch. They brought them here. They continued to rescue more and more dogs. There were 500 of them, then 1,000 dogs. And they continued coming and coming. A lot of people think these dogs are tougher than they are, but that is not true. This is a place where dogs are taken care of. Many dogs arrive in very poor shape and are treated here. They get better here.
In what condition are these dogs and how do they get here?
We have to go rescue some of them. Some others are left here, tied to the gate.
Did some neighbor call you? How do you know they are there?
No, we always hear them barking and we go see. And they are already tied to the gate. Always. Even though we don't want any more dogs, we always take them in here. Because we can't go to the gate and see a tied dog and leave it there. We can't do that. I mean, seeing a tied dog move us. If other dogs come, they might attack it or they can bite it or whatever. So we always have to take the dog in. A lot of people think this is a dumpster and say, well, let's just abandon this dog here. This is a place where we have dogs that are rescued. You can't come in here and abandon one because you don't want it anymore. It's not like that, you know? We mean to rescue dogs that are in danger of death. There are a lot of people who kill them and tie them up and abandon them. These things happen.
The summer of 2016 saw Costa Rica pass legislation to battle pet abuse and abandonment. The new set of laws promise a prison sentence of 6 months to 2 years to anyone who harms an animal. It also classifies animal abandonment as a type of abuse. In Costa Rica, the laws came with new training for police officers on how to enforce them. But animal abandonment continues to be one of the hardest crimes to enforce in many countries. Owners often abandon dogs without a second thought. Meanwhile, the staff at Territorio de Zaguates keeps sacrificing to save them. For Johnny, it has even meant risking his own life.
We got a call from Alejuela. We went to Alejuela and were told that there were 3 dogs trapped underneath some containers. I got there and told them, well, we have to get them somehow. And then we got one. We had it in the truck. Then Alvaro says, how are we going to get the others? I said, I'm going in. I went under the container. I was suffocating and I stayed there. I stayed there. I couldn't get out. The other guys helped me out and then we got the 3 dogs. We got a call about another dog. He had his neck tied with a cable and he was tied towards the river waiting for the water to rise. And that dog was going to die and we rescued him. And now the dog is fine. He was here. He got adopted.
For me, it's really impressive as how the people that work here, it is so, it is, the way they live, it is something powerful to see for me because they are like the entire day trying to help. That is their life. I have no words to describe all the feelings right now.
Approximately how many dogs are adopted by other people?
Well, let's say that in a day, we rescued about 15 or 20 dogs. About 2 or 5 of them might be adopted. So, more dogs come in than they come out. We don't rescue dogs every day, but if we did, that's what it would be.
There is more than one way to help relieve the tremendous burden on overpopulated shelters. One is to adopt a pet from a shelter like Territorio de Zaguates instead of buying a dog from a breeder. Shelters like this also rely heavily on donations in order to provide dogs with food and medical care. Territorio de Zaguates is involved on both ends of the solution.
What needs do you have here?
Well, there are a lot of needs. We need food, medicine. There are a lot of things to work on, to paint. Many things. You can see that many of the dogs have skin problems. For instance, this guy. He's got parts which are not right, so he needs medication. Many of them need medicine. It must be bought. All of this is maintained through the donations from people.
When I heard about the place, I was trying to find a definition for it. And when I arrived here as well, we spoke with the person that works here for so long. He gave me the best definition. It's the house of God. And that hit my heart so hard. Because immediately I thought, why is it the house of God? Because the house of mercy. It's a place where the unwanted can gather together and still be happy. They belong, they are accepted, and they are loved. Doesn't matter what. Yeah. The house of God. That's the house of God.
For domestic dogs, the daily walk is much more than exercise or a bathroom break. Walks reinforce social hierarchy or who's in charge. The change of scenery keeps canine minds sharp and reduces behavior problems due to boredom. The staff at Costa Rica's largest dog shelter uses walks to achieve another goal, an adventure they hope will inspire humans to end dog homelessness. Join Gabi, Kassler and Kara on the most epic dog walk you'll ever experience. Here, it's about more than just saving dogs. It's about teaching humans what it feels like to earn a dog's love.
It touches you when you realize they actually love you. When you say come, they all follow you.
Not all dogs roaming the streets of Costa Rica are homeless. In addition to the 1 million true strays, it is also not uncommon to see what are called community dogs. These dogs aren't tied or fenced in a particular yard, but get the love and care they need from several neighbors. Staff at Territorio de Zaguates, or Land of Strays, have taken that idea to the extreme, as their small staff care for anywhere from 700 to 1,200 dogs at a time. It's like one big happy family.
So we get up 5 a.m. in the morning to start with their daily care. Feed them. They eat dog food. There are currently 700 dogs, so they eat about 10 sacks of 30 kilograms of dog food a day.
Wow.
Then we do everything else, like taking them for a walk.
How many times do they go out?
Once per day on a very long walk. A very long walk. We go out at 9 a.m. and come back at noon.
3 hours?
3 hours running up the mountains. We do many things.
I love how they all are living together and just a couple of minutes before, I jumped and a dog was scared, and then the other one came like, oh, what are you doing to her? You know, it's like a big family.
I thought, there might be more fighting, but it's like they're building this hierarchy thingy. So I think it's very impressive, and many get adopted, so they have a future. They have that, great dog family and playmates, and then, they go and maybe get to a new family in a while.
Territorio des Aguates welcomes visitors not only to facilitate adoptions, but also to educate the public. The dogs benefit from some extra human attention, while people get to see just how serious the problem of dog overpopulation is firsthand and learn what can be done to solve it.
The goal is to try to stop so many dogs from suffering on the street by getting people to sterilize their dogs or get them castrated in order for them to stop suffering so much, right? That is the goal of Territorio, is that many people will think and say, okay, let's neuter them all, so we won't have any more stray dogs.
Choosing not to spay or neuter your pet is a choice to allow the problem to grow exponentially. Each female dog can have a litter of 5 to 6 puppies at a time. In the worst-case scenario, these puppies are harmed or turned out onto the streets. At best, they are adopted or put in a shelter, taking the place of another dog that is already on the streets and could have been rescued.
I think it's our responsibility as humans to take care of animals, and I think it's very important that we have places like that.
Humans need to make a choice. Animals in the wild, they manage themselves in terms of population. But for dogs and cats, humans keep breeding them and breeding them. Then we don't sterilize the ones we keep as pets. So no wonder there's a problem of dog overpopulation in this country and almost every country. I think we need to take responsibility for them and not let the animals suffer on the streets.
What does this place mean to you?
For me, this place means it touches you. You realize that they actually love you. When you say come, they all follow you. They all love you. And when you leave on vacations or whatever, you feel like something's missing. And so, when you come back, you feel happy here.
Just like their wild ancestor, the wolf, domestic dogs have maintained a strong desire to form close bonds with familiar individuals. This is why some dogs even experience anxiety if left alone while their owners are at work all day. And for people who really love their dogs, the attachment is mutual.
We rescued Caleb in Cartago. When we rescued him, he had a chain around his neck. When he saw me, he did like this. He wanted me to let him loose, and so I did. I brought him here, and that dog started following me. He used to follow me everywhere. He became fond of me more and more. And then he got sick. I used to be with him in the room the whole night. And then one day, I left at 3 a.m. and he passed away. It made me very sad. I took him out, gave him a bath, and buried him around here. There are many stories like that, but we sometimes don't know how to tell them because they affect us for real. Okay, that's enough emotions. It's time for some adrenaline.
Bueno, nos levantamos. Calma, calma. Hey, hey.
Well, it's amazing to see the energy when the dogs come running and, when they play and run and enjoy. And it's also interesting to see how they adjust. Some are friends, some are not so close, so they kind of find their space in the family, in a huge family. And it's like with humans, we like people and some people we don't like so much, but we still belong together and we need each other. So it's a great experience to see that in the dogs.
Estamos en la montaña.
Okay, here we are on the mountain. Here's where we come to run with them all day. You see all these kids here? They come to burn calories, to burn energy with us. Us too. We come to do a little bit of exercise, and we come to have a good time with them.
And if they don't run and stay in the cage, they go crazy?
Yes, if they're in the cage and we don't run, they start wanting to come out, always saying, "Take us out, let's go, it's time, come on." That's why they're always hyper.
Running with the dogs, I felt free like a wild wolf in the jungle, in the forest. Even with all the dust, with the dogs like all around your legs. Maybe I was in need of that, of that feeling of freedom. Was marvelous.
Vamos, corremos, caminamos.
We run, we walk, we stroll. It's home for them because they have good time here. We take care of them and give them the love they need that nobody else gives them in the streets. We give it to them here.
This is wonderful. The first moments, I didn't know what to feel. It was really difficult because in my mind, I was thinking, well, this is good. I mean, it's good that they help the dogs, but everywhere in my heart, I was seeing the pain, and that's hard to process, But I had a thought that I really liked it, and it is about God and how people working here never stop looking for the dogs that need help. I think God does the same thing with us, and also they see every dog as unique, every dog as what they can be later. And I think God does the same with us. Maybe we feel weak, we feel like we cannot do it anymore, and nobody is giving us love, but God goes and try to find us and take us with him and give us the love we need.